Greg, thank you for joining me.
Lori, it's good to be here.
We are once again talking about presidential pardons and commutations, expecting more to come under the new Trump administration, specifically, Greg, for people convicted for their roles in the January 6th chaos at the nation's capital. Now, we know presidents have the power to pardon, but what issues does this event raise as Trump considers taking action with those specific cases?
Well, Lori, our founding fathers in Article 2, Section 2, gave the president the power of executive clemency, and with a stroke of a pen, he can commute a sentence. That means, for example, if you have a 10-year sentence, he can reduce it to 5, reduce it to a day, or grant a pardon. That's kind of the golden ticket. That means that your conviction's wiped away, your jail sentence is wiped away, your voting rights, everything is restored, all the rights of citizenship, but it begins and ends with what the president wants to do.
Now, speaking of pardons, and we've already talked about this, but let's go back to President Biden's pardons, and we're not talking about his son this time. We're talking about 2 death row inmates who said, "No, thank you," refusing to sign the paperwork that comes with them. What is that all about?
Well, it was about an executive slap in the face because, you know, if you think about it, there's an office that processes these petitions. We had one granted a few weeks ago where you file with the office. They consider things like the seriousness of the offense, your record, whether you've had meritorious service to the government, whether you've been rehabilitated. But it's typically an individualized analysis, then a recommendations made to the president.
And the death row inmate would have their attorney seek to have this happen, yes?
A lot of work and a lot of legal wrangling. But interesting, you know, President Biden just on his own has really historically impacted Article 2, Section 2, executive clemency. The first, issuing a pardon not only fact-specific to Hunter Biden, his son, which a president's never done before, but Hunter Biden was president pardoned for any future conduct. So basically, get out of jail free.
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep.
Yeah.
Then President Biden issued clemency to virtually everybody that was serving a federal death sentence. So, you know, it wasn't that individual analysis or the scrutiny that one would typically get in that context, but 2 individuals on death row said, "No, thank you."
So could they still face execution, and can they say no?
That's going to be an interesting question.
Yeah.
Fast forward, Donald Trump, and he loves to wield the power of the government, indicated January 6th, everybody involved is going to be issued a pardon.
Yeah.
So once again, history is being shaped and formed by pardons. It's no longer a footnote in an administration, but a powerful weapon of the executive.
We'll be watching.
We will.
Greg, thank you.
Lori and Greg, thank you very much. If you have a legal question, you can send it to AskIsaacs@wate.com. And remember, we talk with Greg every Wednesday at 5:30 right here, which you just watched on Channel 6, but they have a deeper conversation, a little longer conversation on WATE.com at 2:30 on Wednesdays as well.